Oh, hey guys. Doc Roch here from Move Athletics. Welcome back to the Human Performance Project. Today we're going to take a look at your ankles, right? Maybe you're a badass mountain man out there in Leadville, Colorado, training for a 100-mile trail race at 10,200 feet elevation. Over a 2-month time span, mixed in with a whole bunch of other 100-mile mountain bike races, 50-mile trail races, and you fractured your ankle. And you just don't quite have enough motion. Maybe you got 39 degrees of dorsiflexion on your uninvolved side and only 29 degrees on your involved side. So we're going to take a look and see how we can maybe work on this ourselves outside of the physical therapy clinic. So we're going to give you a couple of mobilizations today. You're going to need a band and somewhere to attach that band, right? The first mobilization, we're going to be facing our attachment site, and we're going to set this band up above these little bones, your malleoli on your ankle, right? So it's actually going to be on the back of your shin here, pulling your leg forward. So we're going to set this guy up low. Put our foot in there so it's up above. Let's take our sock off so we can get a little bit more traction on our foot here. I also don't like to have my shoes on. Well, this one's okay, but for the second moment, I don't like to have my shoes on. So right now, either shoes on for traction or socks off for traction, all right? So we're just gonna back the heck up. We're gonna keep our weight there. Take a knee here. Make sure it's above, the band is above these ankles. These bones, your malleoli there. And then keeping your heel down, just drive that knee forward over maybe your second toe and then kind of come back. Drive it forward and then come back. Right. So this is gonna help relatively drive your talus back, which is what happens in dorsiflexion, right? So it's helping pull your tibia forward. So if the talus is here and the tibia is moving forward, it's the same thing as the talus moving back. But now we get to get on our Achilles, our heel cord here, and have some friction from this band pulling on your skin, freeing up those sliding surfaces, right? So we're gonna work back some plantar flexion, dorsiflexion. Spend 2 minutes working that there. After that, go ahead and flip around. I'm going to switch sides here so you guys can see it better on the box. Take that sock off again. Pull this around here. So for this, I like to have my leg elevated, right? Because we want this band now to be underneath those bones. So if we come up here, we get your foot up there. Now having this angle is going to help keep this band below the malleoli, so it pulls the talus posteriorly. A common fault with this one is that it's at those bones or right above them. That's actually doing the opposite of what we want. So right below those bones, elevating the foot so that band's pulling down and back a little bit so it stays below the malleoli. Same thing here. We're going to keep our heel down, drive our knee right over that second toe, and just relax into that. You can go back into hip extension on this side, on the other side if you want to. Hang out there for a couple of seconds, rock back into some plantar flexion, making sure we're keeping the foot flat the whole time. Coming up here, you can drive your toe straight forward, so your knee straight forward. You can drive your knee to the outside, doesn't matter. We just don't want to be driving it to the inside, reinforcing some faulty mechanics, okay? So back and forth, get a little snap, crackle, pop, that's okay. So we'll spend 2 minutes there as well. So there's some dorsiflexion, maybe you're a badass mountain man that broke his ankle, and you're still missing plantar flexion as well. If we're running downhill, right, we're going to want that plantar flexion to be able to point our toes just as much as we are to pull it up. So something that we can do there, if you have the range, is simply get in this position here, right, and sit back. If that's too much for you, then you can secure your foot down underneath a sandbag or something, or literally anything you can hook it underneath of, right? And there, and then just lean back, right? And just spend some time stretching that there. Another option would be to have this band above the malleoli and kicking out, right? Preferably having a sandbag or something holding your foot down here, and then leaning back. So now, when we go into plantar flexion, the talus, the bone underneath here, glides forward and the tibia is supposed to glide back. So now we're using the band to help glide the tibia posteriorly as we drive back into plantar flexion. If you can just keep your foot there actively, that's fine. Right? Depends on how restricted you are. Spend 2 minutes there doing that as well. The last little bit for the day is going to be busting out our Voodoo band that we haven't used yet. We're going to work all around here. We're just going to wrap our whole shin and calf, or an area of it, and then just move around. So with these bands, like I said before, you want to use about 50% tension. So you don't want to go maximum, but stretch it all the way, come back halfway. That's about how much tension you want to use. So if we start here, pull it around, hold onto it here, stretch it, then it holds it down, right? So I don't stretch it and wrap it. I kind of wrap it, pass it off, and then tension it with that hand that I pass it off to. When we're doing this, about 50% band tension, 50% overlap here. So we don't want it right at the edge, but we don't want fully overlap. It's about 50% overlap there. Wrap that sucker up. And then to secure it, I just put my hand in there, wrap it back around, slide it through. And then we'll just spend 2 minutes here, right, just running your ankle through different ranges of motion. You can point your toes, you can go in and out, you can stand up, right? Get some squats going on. Anything you want, just move that ankle. Take a knee, plantar flexion, dorsiflexion. You could even combine this if you wanted with the band mobilizations there. Just keep in mind that we don't want to keep this on the whole time. So if you're going to do that, that's okay. But we want to take it off every 2-3 minutes, let that blood reperfuse into the area. If you're getting numbness, tingling, anything like that, take it off for a few minutes. Let the circulation come back in, and then you can reapply after about a minute reperfusion time or so. And then we just take it off, and then go kill our runs. So if you guys like these videos, you find them useful, let us know by liking it, sharing it, tagging your friends that need it. Catch you guys tomorrow.